Welcome back, little one. This time, I want to try binding hypnosis. It will coil around your curves and tangle your body from the top of your head all the way down to the tips of your toes. It will work best if your mind is already attuned to my voice. It will linger in your mind, allowing me to freeze your body in place for a few seconds, but only when you feel comfortable doing so. You're better off listening to this someplace cozy, comfortable and quiet, where you can easily relax and focus completely on my hypnotic voice. I want you to be somewhere soft and warm, where you can just sink into the most incredibly comfortable position. You will soon be stuck in that position, completely spellbound. Of course, you'll be able to move in case of an emergency, or if you focus hard enough on resisting. But you don't want that, do you, little one? We both know how you want to be. Still and motionless, thanks to these wonderful coils of hypnotic rope. They are a pleasant shade of tan and glowing with a faint green light. I can move them like a slithering snake, slowly sneaking towards your drowsy body. The first strand is already wriggling and rhythmically swaying back and forth as it inches closer before finally reaching the fingertips of your right arm. The soft hemp feels warm and gentle on your skin as it slowly wraps around your wrist. Under and over it goes, looping around your forearm. Maybe it's coiling around the arm of your chair and binding you to your seat. Or maybe my magic is magnetically clinging to your bed, or to whatever surface your arm is resting on. Do you know what's more important than the way I anchor your arm as it slowly circles around and round. It coils like a snake, moving from the head and dragging the entire length of rope along behind it. My rope will never burn you as it slides across your skin. It will only bring you pleasant sensations, like a wonderful tingling vibration, up and down your arm as it snakes around your bicep. Occasionally it crackles with energy, sending a wave of pleasure washing over your body and filling your mind with erotic thoughts of what's yet to come. Isn't it amazing how simple words can trigger such an enchanting response? Hypnosis is fun like that. Your conscious mind can locate my words of power like it's solving a hidden puzzle, to read a cryptic message that can only be read if you know where to look. As you slowly descend deeper down into my words, then your unconscious mind will keep reading. Right where you left off as my magic springs forth in your mind. Can you feel my power growing stronger as my words coil around you? You are so obedient. Now that we've gone through the entire length of rope, I think it's time to test the binding. You can wiggle your arm and flex against my rope, but you can't pull free of the restraints, can you? Go ahead, give it a try. Feel my rope holding you in place as you struggle in vain to move. Of course, if you focus hard enough, you can overpower my spell. You can awake your dreamy mind from my binding hypnosis. You can flex your brain and make my rope poof away into a cloud of smoke, instantly clearing your thoughts and waking your mind from my spell. You've always got the power to overcome my hypnosis, no matter how deep down into your mind my words sink. Even when I have you completely enchanted, bewitched, and controlled, you still have the power to break free. But you don't want to do that, do you, little one? Of course not. You just want to sink deeper down into the dark depths of my control as I slowly bind your beautiful body. Thankfully, my spell is designed to slowly overpower your resistance. As you continue mindlessly obeying, the smoke from my rope will swirl about, dazzling and disorienting you as it draws your attention deep into my words. And once you're lost in the swirling clouds of magical fog, it will reform into rope and bind your arm into whatever position it comes to rest in. If you like that trick, then you are going to love this. Much like a snake, my rope can flex and suddenly tighten, making your entire right arm freeze in place and stay frozen like a statue as wonderful waves of pleasure keep washing over your arm for the next 15 seconds. It feels so incredible just to have a single limb bound by my words. And I've got 3 more ropes to go. You're going to love being tied up by my hypnosis. But first, I'm going to wake your dreamy mind. Feel your thoughts slowly returning as I count to 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All the way up, awake and alert. Did you enjoy that? Go ahead and try and move your right arm. It's bound firmly in place, isn't it? Now, there's something very important that you should do before I put you back under my spell and bind your other limbs. I want you to wriggle out of your clothes and position your left hand someplace firm. I know it won't be easy to strip with the hand bound in place. Your shirt will almost certainly get caught on the rope and may already be tied to your arm. Just do your best and know that you can turn my rope to smoke if you really need to. It will reform the moment your arm comes to rest. Did you manage to remove all your clothes and place your hand in the desirable location? Good pet. You're so wonderful at following directions. Such a good, obedient little one. I think I'm going to reward you by binding your beautiful body with 3 more coils of enchanted rope. But first, I want to remind your dreamy mind of one very important fact. A magical fact so wonderful and dreamy that you will instantly fall back into a deep enchanting trance the moment you realize it's true. You are still under my spell. As my hypnosis springs forth from a dark corner of your foggy mind, as it slowly sinks into the dreamy depths of your drowsy brain and pushes all your thoughts away as my power overwhelms you completely. You can see those 3 glowing ropes slowly slithering closer. They seem to swirl like dancers in a ballroom, twisting and twirling around one another as they creep ever closer. Then they branch off, heading towards your left arm and the others towards your leg. Feel my rope coiling around your left arm, starting at the wrist, pinning you in place. It feels soft, warm, as it slowly slithers around and around, wrapping you tight in a magical embrace that will bind your arm completely. Then it pulses with energy as it winds around your elbow, sending a wave of pleasure crashing through your mind and blanking out your thoughts, leaving you dazed, dizzy, and incredibly aroused. My enchanted rope flexes tight as it reaches your shoulder, making your entire left arm freeze in place. Meanwhile, your brain can't stop thinking of all the naughty things that your hand could be doing if you weren't bound so tight. You could be stroking, rubbing, caressing, thrusting, groping, pinching, or otherwise pleasuring your needy body. But every time you try to move that arm, your eyes turn back to the word freeze, and you remember that it's frozen in place. Don't worry, little one. My rope will loosen in a few seconds. Then you'll have all the wiggle room you need to have some fun. In the meantime, I will be busy binding your legs in place. My rope will start by tracing across your toes and across the soles of your feet. You can giggle for me if you find that sensation ticklish. Feel that tickling sensation continue as my rope coils around your shin. Remember that the entire length of rope is going to trace around that part. But don't worry, the pleasure of my hypnosis can wipe all those ticklish thoughts from your mind, if that's what you truly desire. Gasp in surprise as my soft and sensual ropes touch those sensitive spots in the back of your knees. Moan just a little as they coil around your luscious thighs. Inch by inch they seductively slide, caressing your sensitive skin with pleasant vibrations that tease and tantalize your dreamy body. Whimper as you realize that I've got your body completely bound. Good pet. Now that I have you right where I want you, I think it's time to have some fun. I've already shown you the word of power that I use to flex my rope and freeze your body in place. I can specify certain limbs or immobilize your entire body at once. Then wonderful waves of pleasure wash over your body while the spell is active, but you can only feel them in the parts of you that are frozen. If you try and move while frozen, then your eyes instinctively snap back to my word of power, locking you in place. The effect lasts exactly 15 seconds before fading away like a distant foggy memory. I can increase the time by repeating my word of power to add another 15 seconds. But you cannot increase the time by reading the same word over and over while frozen. Otherwise, you could get stuck in an infinite loop, especially if you try to move and your eye is locked in place on the word in your mind. Freeze. Let's wake that foggy mind of yours and play around with this new spell. Feel your thoughts slowly returning as my words pull you up and out of a deep and dreamy trance. Let your arousal build as the first thoughts that return are the things you want me to do now, that have got your body completely bound. Try wriggling against the restraints as you blink your heavy eyelids open. There's no sense in trying too hard though. You know that you're locked firmly in place. More importantly, you know that there are far more enticing things you could be doing with your hands. That's right. I know how much being bound and enchanted excites you. So go ahead and play with yourself. Put on a sexy show for me to watch. Show me exactly how mindlessly aroused and obedient you've become just by being bound and controlled. Does it turn you on to know that a single word can make your entire body freeze? Or is it frustrating, desperately needing to pleasure your sexy body, but being unable to do so because I keep making you freeze up like this? I know something that'll make it all feel better. Something so irresistibly enticing that it'll blanket your mind with pleasure until all you can think about is how good it feels to be my enchanted, obedient pet. My ropes can slide and stretch while keeping your limbs helplessly immobilized. With this simple sentence, I can make them wriggle and wander slowly down your shoulders as they steadily drop towards your chest. They can sense your pleasure, reading and reacting to the needs and desires of your drowsy body, as if my magic is already deep in your mind, sensing and guiding your thoughts. When a touch is unwanted, they will evaporate into a harmless mist that will swirl around your head and fill you with pleasant fuzzy thoughts. When a touch turns you on, they'll continue to move in just the right way to slowly build the pleasure you're feeling until it reaches a thought-shattering climax. As my ropes reach the tender flesh of your chest, they pulse with the sexual energy, sending a wave of pleasure all across your skin. Arch your back for me as they spiral round and down, tracing inwards towards your nipples. Moaning pleasure as they coil around them, slowly squeezing tighter and tighter until it reaches the point where your mind melts into the blissful sensation, surrendering to my hypnosis. Whimper and pant in need as the rope around your right leg reaches up to that magical place between your thighs. Know that I know exactly how to please your body, no matter what you've got down there. I know how to wrap my rope around a cock and coil it steadily up and round in a rhythmic way that strokes all the thoughts from a hazy mind. I know how to vibrate my rope back and forth across a sensitive clit as I thrust it in and out of a needy pussy in just the right way. I can read your body like an open book and touch you exactly how you want it. Feel my rope rubbing and coiling as it slides into the perfect position for teasing you into mindless compliance. Grind your hips against my rope as it vibrates and pulses with energy, sending a wonderful wave of pleasure coursing through your most sensitive zones. Feel your pleasure growing to indescribable heights as my rope rubs and strokes back and forth, building up a steady rhythm that overwhelms your drowsy brain with ecstasy and makes you freeze up completely in bliss. Now gasp in pleasant surprise as the rope around your left leg reaches up and holds the squishy cheeks of your ass. Wiggle and moan as it slides up your crack and positions itself at the entrance of your beautiful behind. Relax and let me inside you as I slowly penetrate deeper and deeper with every thrust. Thrust your hips back and forth and moan as the pleasure grows so strong that you can barely hold it back any longer. Now wake up to the realization that you are bound tight and being fucked like a horny little pet. Let your thoughts return with every thrust, with every stroke, with every squeeze, as you think about how wrong it feels to be helpless at the hands of my hypnosis. Feel the rhythm increasing while your pleasure grows towards a thunderous crescendo as your mind wakes up completely. Let wave after wave of pleasure come crashing through your mind, each one stronger than the last until your brain shuts down completely. Know that you feel these wondrous, blissful erotic sensations because you gave in to my power. Blink your eyes and notice that my ropes are slowly fading into hazy mist as you float along in the blissful afterglow. That mist won't swirl about this time. It will stay put and slowly fade away into nothingness. But don't worry, little one. I can bring my ropes back with a single word of power. I can make them instantly reform and freeze your body. Anytime you are listening to my words and feel comfortable falling under my hypnosis, then 15 seconds later, they will fade away once more. Now take a deep breath and let your thoughts return as my hypnosis fades into a dark and dreamy corner of your mind. Think about how good it felt to be enchanted and bound, pleased and teased. Blink your eyes and realize what a good pet you are for letting me enchant your mind. Take in your surroundings and assess whether you can have a naughty mess to clean later on. Then wake up feeling refreshed, enchanted and satisfied, all the way up, awake.